share with you, and I will try inshallah to make the slides for what I'm saying now inshallah, so you can follow the slides as well. So please pay attention. There are few things which are our you can say these are our tools when we start analyzing the surahs. Okay, tip number 1: as soon as you start your analysis and you read a word, your first job is it one word or is it a multiple words attached to each other? That's your first job. Clear? Point number 2: once you identified the how many words are there, then you need to see that the word, the first word, is it ism or fail? That is key. As soon as it is ism, your mind should switch to jumla ismiya. Subject, predicate, mutalliq bil khabar. And if it is fail, your mind should switch to jumla failiya, and which is fail, file, maf'ool and mutalliq bil fail. Clear? These are 3 tips. Tip number 4: now I am inside jumlatul failiya. Inside jumlatul failiya, if you get an ism in rafa status, it will become what? Doer or file. One more time. Inside jumlatul failiya, if you get an ism in rafa status, it will become your file or doer. And if you get an ism in nasab status, it will become your maf'ool or object. And lastly, if you see that a pronoun is attached with the fail, obviously fail is fail, but the pronoun will become what?
Attached.
Maf'ool. One more time. If you see that with fail a pronoun is attached, this pronoun will become maf'ool. And what is maf'ool, by the way? Listen point carefully. Maf'ool is what answers the question of what, why, where, when, how. All of those words in the sentence which answer these questions, what, why, where, how and when, these words are maf'ool actually. Who can tell me what did I mention just? I mentioned 4 points. Who can tell me these 4 points? Because these are, if you know these things, inshallah, your job is become easy. If anybody wants to contribute from the online, inshallah, bismillah, but before I go towards the online people, let me ask people sitting here. I just mentioned 4 key points for our analysis or for practice. What are those? We need to have them clear.
First of all, the word, whether it's single or it's multiple.
Good. So the first point is, as soon as you look at the word, you need to see if it is just one word or a combination of words. Okay. Brother Aryan, what is point number 2, by the way? You are slightly off, but you should see, is it ism or fail? The first word is first word ism or first word fail, because this will decide, it will give a signal to your mind that do I need to think of the parts of jumla ismiya or part of jumla failiya. Okay, what was point number 3, brother Ayyan?
Was it like what is a maf'ool?
MashaAllah, you are right that if now rest of the points are within jumlatul failiya. Okay, so brother Ayyan said that if you find an ism in jumlatul failiya in nasab status, this ism will always be maf'ool. Clear? Okay, brother Raheen, 4th point.
If it's in rafa status, it will be file.
MashaAllah, excellent, brother Raheen. So inside jumlatul failiya, if you see an ism in rafa status, it will become your file or doer. Very good. One more point left. Brother Abdul Bari,
Attached is pronoun.
Excellent, Brother Shoaib. Whenever in Jumlatul Failiyah you see that with fail, either fail Madi or Mudari, but doesn't matter. With the fail, a pronoun is attached. This pronoun, the attached pronoun will be called maf'ul. Okay? Now, I hope this inshallah clear point. Now I give you more points because there are about 10 or 12 points. But I want, inshallah, if you know these 12 points, you can do practice right now on your own. Inshallah. Now next point, now new point coming, okay? The point is, you might be thinking that okay, we discussed fail, we discussed one word, but sometimes you get the phrases. For example, mudaf, mudaf ilayh, mawsoof, sifa, ismul ishara, and all of that. If they come in Jumlatul Failiyah, how to deal with them? It's a good question. Because, okay, if I get single word, single ism, a mufrad ism, in rafa status, okay, file. In nasab status, okay, maf'ul. What if I get a mudaf, mudaf ilayh, or mawsoof, sifa? How to deal with them? Same formula. You need to look at the status of the first part of the phrase. In case of mudaf, mudaf ilayh, first part is mudaf part. In case of mawsoof sifa, first part is mawsoof part. Look at the status of the first word. If status of the first word is rafa, file. The whole thing will become file. If status of the first word is nasab, the whole thing will become maf'ul. Which means that Rasulullahi, whole thing, Rasulullahi, it will become what? File. Excellent. Rasulullahi, for example, will become maf'ul. So that is, with the mudaf, mudaf ilayh is done, mawsoof sifa is done. How about jar majroor? Do we know something in Jumlatul Failiyah, by the way? In Jumlatul Failiyah, if you get a jar majroor, what would be the label for that one? Excellent, excellent. The label for jar majroor in Jumlatul Failiyah is always muta'alliq bil fail. And if you consult the books of grammar or the books of tafsir, they simply say that this thing is muta'alliq. Not muta'alliq bil fail, but say muta'alliq means muta'alliq bil fail, because Jumla is Jumlatul Failiyah. Okay? This point clear? So this was to, sorry.
How about Jumla Ismiya? If we have the jar majroor.
In Jumlatul Ismiya, jar majroor, yes, jar majroor and special mudaf. These two things are in the bucket of muta'alliq bil khabar. Clear?
But in this case only jar majroor.
Excellent. In this case, in the case of Jumlatul Failiyah, only jar majroor. And the reason, inshallah, I will tell you when special mudaf will come in the case of Failiyah, you will see that why I did not put in the muta'alliq bucket, inshallah. Okay, so this was about the phrases in Jumlatul Failiyah. How to deal with the phrases or murakkabat.
We have not covered all the phrases, though. We have covered mudaf, mudaf ilayh,
Yes,
jar majroor,
yes.
and
Mawsoof sifa. Which one is
we
that?
have ismul ishara,
That's it.
and then okay, the fourth one isn't it? Yeah,
Okay, okay, let's deal with the ismul ishara musharun ilay.
It's always like rafa, right? So it's
Excellent. The reason is, please pay attention. If yours, this ismul ishara, 90, it comes in the start of the jumla, ismul ishara. Hazal kitab, blah blah blah. Okay, zalikal kitab. So as soon as you get ismul ishara, haza or zalik, you know it is jumlatul ismiya. It cannot be failure, because ismul ishara comes in the bucket of ism.
no.
Okay, and if jumla start with the ism, it's jumla ismiya, and ismul ishara will become the mubtada. Clear? Okay. Now, next point. When you are analyzing your text and you see that an ism is in jar status, you are analyzing your text and you find an ism in jar status. In Arabic language, there are only two possibilities. This thing is done with this point.
Mudaf ilayh
Excellent.
or jar majroor.
Excellent. So, whenever you see an ism in jar status, please pay attention, everybody. Your job will be to see that what is before it. For example, minallahi, min is a jar, and Allah He is the ism in jar status. So Allah He is in jar status. You will look at what is before Allah He. If before Allah He you get a preposition, it will be jar majroor phrase. If you did not see any preposition, it will be mudaf ilay case, which means Allah He will be mudaf ilay and the word before it mudaf. There is no other possibility. So which means that when you are reading the text, you find ism in jar status, just these two possibilities. Either it is jar majroor case or it is mudaf ilay case. Is this point clear? Okay. These are, I think, how many points we discussed, Abdul Bara?
Yeah, I was counting as well. I think about 7 or 8.
Okay, inshallah, they are recorded in the video, inshallah, and video will be shared, inshallah, in the group, so you can even.
They can be listed somewhere.
Yes, inshallah, I will send you the slide kind of thing in which, inshallah, to put them, all of them in a bullet form. Okay. So now let's, inshallah, begin our topic for today. So at least we start something, and today, inshallah, we analyze a short surah, and that is Suratul Ikhlas. But remember this point, it is short in terms of its quantity, okay, not short in terms of its message and its profoundness. As we all know, Suratul Ikhlas is 1/3 of the Quran. And ulama, they discuss that, okay, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the sunnah has told us that this is 1/3 of the Quran. They said that because Quran, the themes of the Quran are predominantly, there are 3 themes of the Quran. And one theme is Tawheed, okay, monotheism. And this surah is all about what? Monotheism. And inshallah, one day I will discuss with you that this surah has destroyed atheism. Inshallah, one day we'll look from this angle as well, because we sometimes look from the Muslim perspective, okay, this surah is saying that Allah has no partner. No, it has destroyed all the foundation of modern atheism as well. And our ulama, they have analyzed this surah from this angle, from the mulhid. Mulhid means atheist. That how this surah is a rational proof against atheism. Inshallah, we'll discuss this point as well. Now, let's inshallah begin. Those who are online, please, if you have any question, any comment, unmute yourself, and anytime, inshallah, you can ask your questions. Okay, let's deal with now, this Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There's a technical term which is used for this whole phrase, and that is called basmala. Ba, Sin, Mim, La, and then round ta at the end. Ta marbuta at the end. Basmala. So when somebody says or read in the book basmala, it means Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, this whole phrase. Okay, let's inshallah start the analysis of this phrase. So let's deal with the first word, and that is bism. Remember our first job? What is our first job?
How many words?
How many words? Okay, my dear brother Ayan will tell us. Bism, how many words?
2.
MashaAllah. Okay, good point. Okay, these are 2 words. Brother Shoaib, can you separate these 2 words?
Ba and Sin and Mim.
It's actually ba and ism. The alif of the ism is dropped. Why dropped? It's not my job to tell you, because I'm not teaching you how to write Arabic, okay? Because we have one point focus. We got the text in front of us just to analyze the text, because we cannot go out of our one point objective. Otherwise we can't, summarize things. Now, but I'm telling you it is ba and ism. Okay, now, do we know something about ba already? What is ba? Excellent. Ba is a preposition. And if ba is a preposition, what will be ism?
Majroor.
Majroor. So which means we got our first thing, and that is a jar majroor phrase. jar and majroor. Remember one point, because jumla is starting with jar majroor, because you need to decide that is it jumla ismiya or failiya. At this stage you don't know. So what we're learning here is that if your jumla starts with a jar majroor, because we all know jar majroor belongs to both of these types, and it could come in the start of the jumla to make some emphasis kind of thing. We learned this point.
We soon know that we will not find it.
Excellent. So at this stage we do not know that what to do with this, so we don't know. All we know is it's jar majroor thing. Let's move on. Allahi, Allahi. How many words? Obviously one word. What status? What will you do? You need to, excellent brother Ayyan, excellent point. Excellent. You need to look that what is before Allahi. Ism. Is ism a preposition?
No.
No. It means that Allahi and this ism part, they are becoming what? I just put here M and MA. This will be our short for mudaf, M and MA. So we got so far two phrases and nothing is clear yet. What's happening? We don't know yet. Let's keep moving. Ar-Rahmani. At least we know one point. The Ar-Rahmani is a ism. That's all we know. Okay, my question will be from my younger brothers. How do we know that this Ar-Rahmani is a ism? Bismillah, Ayyan. MashaAllah. So, inshallah, MashaAllah, good point, Brother Ayyan. So, Ayyan said that because Alif Lam is attached, because actual word is Rahman. Ar-Rahman means Alif Lam is attached. Anyone knows the technical fancy term for Alif Lam in Arabic?
Ismiya.
There's a specific term used for Alif Lam. This Alif Lam is called what?
Lamut Marif.
Lamut Ta'arif. And sister, you are right. You are right. This Alif Lam does the same job in Arabic with definite article da or thed. The job of thed is taken in Arabic through Alif Lam, and the fancy term will be Lamut Ta'arif. Okay? So if you open a book, it will call it Lamut Ta'arif. So Ar-Rahmani is a ism. What status? Jar status. Now please remember this point. Don't be confused by ani sound. It is not ani, it's one word, it's singular. It is singularism because we know it is just written like that. Usman or Affan or Ar-Rahman or Ayyan. It's not about ani sound, okay? So Ar-Rahman is a singularism. And in the case of singularism, we know the status by looking at the haraka. And because haraka of Rahman is kasra, so it is jar status, and there is nothing before Rahmani which can make it
Majroor.
So what is it then? So we got this one more thing which is a ism. We will deal with it inshallah. Just give me 1 second. I did not give any label to it yet. Okay, let me complete the whole thing first. Let's keep moving. Ar-Rahimi. It is also ism. What status? Brother Ishan, what status? Ar-Rahim. Brother Rahim.
Jar.
It's a jar status. Okay, not jar status, because jar means preposition. Jar is the Arabic word for preposition, and majroor. You can say that Ar-Rahim is majroor. Okay, because jar, majroor. So majroor, we got Rahmani majroor, Rahimi majroor. Now, before I tell you anything, I want you to try to tell me that what label should I give to Rahman and Rahim. One thing is for sure, I cannot, look, please pay attention. One thing is for sure, it is not Jumla failure. That is for sure. You did not get any fail at all. It is something about Jumlatul Ismiya. It cannot be failure. 1 point. Second point is, Ar-Rahmani and Ar-Rahimi. What can they be in Jumla Ismiya paradigm?
Pointing word?
Khabar.
Okay, Brother Asif said it is khabar. So, any other comments?
متعلق بالخبر.
Okay, brother, muta'alliq bil khabar, it cannot be muta'alliq bil khabar, and the reason is it is not jar majroor, it's not special mudaf.
Brother, is Mawsuf Sifa?
Sister is very close.
Because Allah, it cannot be. Because Allah's property.
Sister is very close. Sister, can you tell us that how do you know it is mawsuf sifa and which one is mawsuf and which one is sifa?
Both of them, Sifa to me looks like.
Then who is mawsuf?
Allah.
Excellent. That is the answer. And sister, mashallah, may Allah give you barakah in your knowledge and in your amal, inshallah. Now let's do the whole analysis, complete analysis. So it started with the jar majroor, which is muta'alliq, and then ism and Allahi together, they became mudaf mudaf ilay. And as we know, when we translate mudaf mudaf ilay, we use what? Of. And ba mean what?
In or with.
With. Okay? With ism and Allah together. Ism of Allah. Ism mean name. So with the name of Allah. Now I'm gonna pause at every point because this is our first analysis thing. Okay? I will pause at every point. Why did I say that with the name of Allah? Because ism does not have an alif lam attached to it. Because the name mean al-ism. I said in translation, with the name of Allah. This da is not, apparently, da is not there because da mean alif lam. With ism, there is no alif lam attached. Then how come when I translate, I say with the name of Allah? Where is this da?
Because Allah is proper.
Then what?
To make it more meaningful in the translation.
Because Allah is already proper. Allah is already proper.
Both of Abdul Bari and Asif, you are both close to answer, but I need, you are not giving me the exact answer. You are very close to the answer, by the way. Brother Ayyan, you want to say something? Brother Ayyan. Raheen, you want to say something? Brother Aryan, please try. You guys have done these things. Sorry?
Makes more sense.
I said that it makes more sense, close as you said. No, there's a technical reason. I want to know that reason. Okay, please.
If khabar is proper, it makes the mubtada proper as well.
We don't have any khabar.
The mawsuf sifa.
Yeah. Remember, okay. Let's deal with the khabar thing first. Please, everyone, pay attention. Please pay attention. We do not have any khabar. Why? Because khabar is in rafa status. If khabar comes as one word or mubtada comes as one word, they come as what? They come as rafa status, and none of them is in rafa. Ar-Rahmani, Ar-Rahimi are not in rafa. They qualify from one angle because mubtada, for example, is proper and khabar is by default common. Let me repeat again. Mubtada by default is proper and khabar by default is common. Now Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim cannot become our khabar. Why? Because they are proper. And they can't become mubtada because they are in jar status. So we can't deal with that angle. Now, I think, why you want to say something about?
No. Emphatic.
Sorry?
Is it emphatic?
No.
Shibul Jumma cover, but we can see that, Mutallib bin cover at the beginning. So that's why actually we are giving emphasis on this sentence. Is it the reason? Because we are putting that.
If you remember about the emphasis part, we learned that if you have jar majroor in the start of Jumla Ismiya, and then you have mubtada, a proper mubtada in rafa status, which is a normal status, but there's no such thing here. That's why we can't put in that category as well. Because in that case, if you look at your notes, jar majroor comes first to make it emphatic, and then you get mubtada in rafa and proper, and the khabar is missing. Something is matching, but the middle part is not matching. Now let me give you the answer. Look, listen one point carefully. The reason I'm gonna go deep in every single point, because this is our foundation. Inshallah, after 1, 2, 3 lessons, I don't need to go this deep. We'll just inshallah go through very quickly. But for now, I'm telling you that how to do the analysis of the ayat. Okay, now please pay attention. If you remember, when we discussed the 4 properties of ism, The fourth property was proper or common, and we said that there are 7 categories. If ism fall in any of these 7 categories, ism becomes automatically proper. And one of those categories, number 7, which was, if your mudaf ilayhi is proper, mudaf automatically becomes proper, which means because Allahi, please listen point, Allahi is mudaf ilayhi and Allahi is proper, because of this ism, which is the mudaf, has become proper as well, and that's why I use the. So Bismillahi, with the name of Allah. Okay, who is Allah in this thing? Who is Allah? So we see that Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim are describing who is Allah, and those words which describe something, they are called adjectives and sifat. Now Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim can't become the sifat. For example, I can't say, okay, Ar-Rahman is the mawsoof, Ar-Rahim is sifat, because we learned this point already. No, but actually Allah, He is the mawsoof, and that's the reason. Look at this one. Because Allah, He is in jar status. For this reason, Rahman and Rahim are in jar status. Why? Because for mawsoof sifat, the condition is they must match in all the 4 properties. This is the reason that Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim are in jar status. Why? Because Ar-Rahman is sifa number 1, Ar-Rahim is sifa number 2. I am not saying, please listen again, I am not saying that Ar-Rahman is the mawsoof and no, even though Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, they are both matching in all the 4 properties. But we learned this point, yes, we learned this point that if the names of Allah or sifat of Allah come one after the other, they can't become mawsoof sifa, they can become only sifa, which means Allah is the mawsoof, which has 2 sifat, Rahman and Rahim. Now let's translate it. With the name of Allah, and this Allah is Rahman and Rahim. Is this point clear? Now if you see, now you know every single thing in this ayah, that why Rahman is in jar status, why Rahim is in jar status, why everything is happening here. This will give you the insight. Now next time, inshallah, when you will recite Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, you will have a different kind of experience and feeling, because now you are understanding all of this phrase. And secondly, look at the beauty. Look at the beauty. This is only a phrase, and we all know that phrases are by definition are called naqis and not incomplete. Subhanallah, look at the beauty. Bismillah is a phrase which is an incomplete combination, but before whichever action you say it, action will become complete. Assumptions. The actual text does not have this. Is that clear? Now, obviously I know that we spent a lot of time, but remember this point. Inshallah, I'll share with you this video. Those 8 points which I discussed in the start, I will mention them inshallah in a slide form as well. I'll share that in the group. My advice to all of you is, please watch this video again, all of the analysis of the thing again. And tomorrow, if you have any question about Basmala, you can ask me inshallah, and then we can start the rest of the Surah Al-Ikhlas. But remember this point. It will take time in the start, but let me tell you one thing. This will make your foundation very solid and deeper. After that, you will not need me anymore to analyze these things. And this is my main intention, to make you independent. I don't want to give you the fish, I want you to teach how to catch the fish, if that makes sense. Okay, inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, jazakumullah khair, barakallahu fi, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.